Internet? Cory Zamier here, collecting with Cory. I know it's been about 2 or 3 weeks now. Should have had this collection video out. This is my GameCube collection. I've been lazy / busy with doing the whole eBay thing. Guys, my GameCube collection, very small, but it does have some, it has a couple good games in it. I'm missing some definite must-haves that I have had in the past, but have resold because I didn't think I would ever play them. Games that I would like to have back in my collection, like Super Mario Sunshine, some of the Legend of Zelda games. Let's actually just jump into what I have. First up, what I do have is the Game Boy Player. The Game Boy Player disc with the slipcover. Very expensive for what it is. Basically a Super Game Boy, but for the GameCube. The player disc alone is like $40 to $50 from last time I remember checking. Which is crazy to me because a Super Game Boy you can get for like $10, but I guess this one plays Game Boy Advance too, so it's kind of a big deal. Next up, we have probably the only fighting game I can think of that's worth owning on the GameCube, Bloody Roar Primal Fury. I believe this is the same game that came out on the Xbox, Bloody Roar Extreme. It's just they have different titles, from what I remember. I had both at one point. Unfortunately, this one has a video game castle sticker on it. This is complete. Pretty fun fighting game. Used to play this with Sam's son, Matt, at the flea market. I used to get my ass whooped from what I remember, but that's about par for the course for most games for me. Next up, oh, it's a good thing I have this game on my shelf rather than just behind me. If future Cory could be so kind as to zoom in, we have Donkey Konga and Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Those are both complete with the games and the bongos. And the only one I don't have in the box with the bongos, which at this point, why would I need 3 sets, is Donkey Konga 2. And this one's complete. I believe one of those is actually missing a manual, from what I remember. Alright, the next game I have on the GameCube, because for some reason I don't have it on the PS2. That is Enter the Matrix. Not a great game by today's standards, but back then, with all the hype surrounding the Matrix movies, just being able to play a game like this was crazy. If you try and play it again today, it's not great. It just doesn't. I have it on the GameCube because, like I said, I don't have it on the PS2 for some reason. Most of the time for multi-platform games, I would rather have them on the PS2 because that's my main console that I collect for in that generation. This one, apparently I paid $13 for. I didn't take that sticker off. Evolution Worlds. One of the, from what I remember, few RPGs on the GameCube. Sequel to, what was it, Evolution on Dreamcast. Haven't played either of them, unfortunately. Here's a game I've played. Actually, maybe the GameCube has more fighting games than I remember that are worth owning. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. To this date, the best Godzilla game they've ever made. Unfortunately, you do have to unlock most of the characters, and I haven't taken the time to play through the single player. And I believe you only start off with like 2 or 3 monsters, which kind of sucks. But definitely a great game, especially if you're a Godzilla fan. They came out with one on PS4 recently that had a ton of monsters, but the gameplay just sucked. In my opinion, just copy this gameplay, update the graphics, and you're fucking golden. My favorite Mario Golf game, Toadstool Tour. Challenge is still down. I will battle Carl at the grid, maybe, eventually. Who knows? That was like years ago that I made that challenge, or he made that challenge. I don't remember. I really don't, but I love this game. Absolutely fun Mario Golf title. I don't know if I've really played Mario Golf on many other systems, to be honest. And up until Mario Kart 8 came out, this was actually my favorite Mario Kart, Double Dash. Which is weird because when it first came out, I actually didn't like the game. But when I started playing it, when I started collecting, it was a lot more fun than all the other Mario Karts to me. But back when we first got this, when it first came out, I was playing with my friends in high school, and I remember thinking, like, the only way we would play it was with 4 people and only 2 carts, which is a really shitty way to play. Why not just have everybody with their own cart, do 4-player with, you know, their own cart? It just makes more sense that way. And I remember getting stuck as the one that was just, like, throwing the shells and shit. I just hated that. I should also mention, this is the bonus one that has the bonus disc with the demos and shit. I don't actually know what's on the demos, but it's the more uncommon one. Next up, the most recent addition to my GameCube collection, Outlaw Golf / Darkened Sky. Outlaw Golf, I believe I already have on the Xbox, so I might be replacing that one with this. And Darkened Sky I've never heard of, but it was a 2-pack that I came across at my local game store for, it says $14.95 on it, but I think I paid $13 and some change because the price had actually dropped. Very clean copy. It says only for GameCube, which is a big thing for me in collecting. I like getting exclusives for systems. This is the only Player's Choice / Greatest Hits in my entire collection, and it's because it's the only way this game came. It is PacMan Versus / PacMan World 2. Holding on to it for PacMan Versus, I believe you need the Game Boy Advance cables to actually play it, so maybe it's actually not even worth it for me to have. But it's a very cool way to play it. You can play it at some retro gaming conventions will have it set up. I know Long Island Retro Gaming Expo had it set up so you can play with the Game Boy Link cables and have Pac-Man and all the ghosts play on separate screens and stuff like that. It was really kind of cool. Next up, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I would like to get a case or a label on this that, for one, doesn't have bestseller on it. It's not quite greatest hits, but it's kind of like that. I don't really like that. And also, just in general, it's sun-faded because I got this at a flea market. Like, I don't know if you can really tell, but it's pretty sun-faded compared to what it should look like. Like, that's what it should look like. This is what it does look like. Complete. Never played any of the Paper Mario games. I'm not really sure how they stack up compared to the Mario and Luigi series, but let me know. The first one came out on the N64, and I never really had that system growing up, and I was never really into the N64, / I'm not really into the N64. And I'm actually going to throw my one N64 game in my collection at the end of this video, because I'm not making one whole video about that. Next up we have the Sonic Gems collection, which, looking back on it, I don't even know why I picked up Sonic CD on the Sega CD if I had it on this. And this comes with 9 classic titles from the Sonic Hedgehog library. Blech, I'm bumbling my words here. It is 5:30 in the morning. Available only on arcade, on Sega CD, Sega Saturn, and Game Gear, now combined into one. So the main 3 that it gives is Sonic CD, Sonic the Fighters, which I have actually no fucking clue what it is, and Sonic R from the Sega Saturn. The 6 bonus Game Gear classics: Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble, Sonic Drift 2, Tails Sky Patrol, and Tails Adventures. I didn't realize there were that many Sonic games on the Game Gear. It's crazy. Next up we have Star Fox Assault, which I am missing the manual for, unfortunately. In my opinion, probably the better of the Star Fox games on the GameCube, because this one's actually a Star Fox game. I hate Star Fox Adventures. And then I have a random preview disc that I held on to, because it was not worth getting rid of. And it does say only on GameCube, or only for GameCube. Star Wars Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3 Limited Edition Preview Disc. I don't have any of the 2 Star Wars Rogue Squadron games for the GameCube, but maybe eventually. And next up is one of the games that I actually had for the GameCube back when I got it for my birthday, I think it was. I got the GameCube kind of late for my birthday, and I had WrestleMania 18 for it, which my cousin actually really wanted to play. I was kind of lukewarm on it because I was more into like the SmackDown style games, the faster paced games, and I remember not liking this one too much. And in general, back when I had the GameCube myself, I didn't really enjoy it much. I remember, I think I owned because I played it on a demo, or a GameStop kiosk demo or something. And I never really got much further than the first boss. I think I beat the first boss, and then after that I kind of fell off of it. And in general, I only rented games for the GameCube. I never really owned anything. Like, I rented Mario Sunshine, I rented Sonic Adventure DX on there, I remember. And the GameCube was, even back then, very much a secondary system. And I've actually discussed it in one of the Collecting with Cory shows that I did with my friend Ted, how the only reason I really even wanted a GameCube is because all my friends being that into Animal Crossing. And I ended up never getting Animal Crossing, as it turned out. So, back in the day, I never really had a reason to own the system, and I think I traded it in relatively quick. Although back then, I know I did a lot of trade-ins on games. I don't remember specifically trading in systems, so my GameCube at some point just kind of disappeared. I don't know. Like, I don't remember what I traded it in towards. Like, I know a lot of people always have stories of, like, trading in all their Nintendo games towards the Super Nintendo, trading in their Super Nintendo games towards the N64, stuff like that. I don't remember where my trade-ins went to for stuff like that. Like, I know I had a GameCube, then I didn't have a GameCube. I don't know how I got rid of it, but... so I just forgot to show the one N64 game I have in my collection. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. And the thing with the N64 for me, I'm not even 100% sure on it, is that I think I might just only collect them if I can get them complete in the box. Because I don't want loose N64 games sitting around. I know there's like end labels you can buy online, but I think you have to like buy the entire set. And I don't want an entire set of N64 end labels just chilling somewhere. So I'm basically looking for all the games that I enjoyed playing for the N64, like Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I played the hell out of this at the kiosk at KB Toy Works back in the day. So games like this, I guess I should say my most wanted N64 game, complete in the box, would probably be... I would like to get the Star Fox 64 in the box again. I had it in the box, got rid of my N64 games, and as far as games I would like to have complete in the box, that'd be the one. Video where I just forget about everything I have in my collection. So, I forgot about Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, which I believe I received from Danny, Roaming Dan. Gonna be looking for a box for that, because like I said, I do want to get boxes for my N64 games, because I don't want them just sitting around on a random shelf, because I tend to forget about them, just like these. And the other game, Pokemon Stadium, which I received way back in the day from Jay the Video Game Guy. I actually wrote his name on there. Have a top label, but yeah. that's going to do it for this collection video. As far as most wanted GameCube games, the number one would be, what is it? Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. The only thing with that is I love the Fire Emblem games, but the ones before the 3DS titles where you can't have, like, basically baby mode or whatever, where your characters don't permanently die, I realistically won't be able to play through because that's going to be frustrating as fuck, and that level of frustration isn't going to be worth it for me. But let me know what games I should pick up for the system. I know I'm missing a lot. I don't have very many games at all, but I would really like to hear your comments in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, keep it real, Internet. I love you guys.